YouTube, what's up with you? What's up with you? Welcome back to another video. I haven't posted in about a week and I'm sorry about that. However, in that week I spent time grinding, preparing things, preparing video ideas, and hitting the gym. Honestly, I've been feeling good, been hitting a lot of PRs lately. On bench press, I just actually hit 240 pounds for 3 reps, and I've never done that before. So I'm getting a lot stronger out here in Thailand, eating good food, making sure I'm putting the right nutrition in my body, feeling good, getting stronger, looking good. I can't ask for any more. But this video is going to be about why I decided to move across the world at 22 years old. I uploaded a video before on this subject. However, I wanted to upload another video about this subject just to reiterate what I said before, and to honestly just have a better quality video out explaining why I decided to move here to Bangkok, Thailand at 22 years old. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first reason that I decided to move across the world here to Bangkok, Thailand is because I worked a 9-to-5 for around 8 months, and that was enough for me to realize that this path that society has set in stone for the majority of people, this path of go to school, get a job, work 40 to 50 years, retire, and if you're lucky, you live an extra 20 years. I knew, and I still know, that is not for me. I had a little voice in my head telling me that you're meant for more. Move somewhere that the game is rigged. Go to Thailand. I had this voice in my head telling me to do this. In America, it feels like, it doesn't feel like anything. This is a fact. The game of life, of living in America is rigged against you. The financial game is rigged against you. It's meant to keep you in this cycle of running around, achieving nothing but working hard, thinking you're achieving something. If you play that game, you will waste your life very quickly. And I know a lot of people will probably say, you're only 22 years old. How did working a 9-to-5 for only 8 months, how did that tire you out? It's not that it tired me out. I just realized how fruitless and pointless working a 9-to-5 was. So while I was working my 9-to-5, and while I was in college, before I even started working a 9-to-5, I knew I had to work on something for myself, because I always knew in the back of my head that I could never rely on the government, school, or a job completely. I wanted to be self-sufficient within myself. So I started to day trade. And I worked on my skill for years. I went through years of failure, years of trial and error, and now I'm at the point to where I can confidently say I can rely on it. I can rely on the income that I make from day trading and rely on the skill to sustain myself. However, there are still some days where I feel like there's always going to be that feeling of uncertainty. That is the truth of being an entrepreneur. There's always going to be that feeling of uncertainty. But the trade-off of having that uncertainty is freedom. You can have certainty working your 9-to-5, but you'll just be a slave and you won't have any freedom. So this first reason of why I decided to move across the world is pretty much freedom. I want to feel free. I want to be able to live how I want. I want to be able to do the things that I want. I want to be able to live a life that I am proud of living and happy of waking up in the morning, because living in America, I dreaded waking up in the morning. I dreaded it. I just did. The next reason why I decided to move here is because I know moving here, I am completely on my own. I am out of my comfort zone. I have a metaphorical cliff behind my back. So it forces me to grow. It forces me to adapt to my environment. It forces me to do things that I wouldn't have done before in America. I mean, I literally started a YouTube channel. I don't have much subscribers yet. However, I am on the way of building something else for myself. I'm doing things that I wouldn't have done in America, because here I am out of my comfort zone. I'm gaining new ideas, new concepts, new things to do for myself to just grow as a person. Being in America, you get comfortable really fast, especially working a 9-to-5. You get comfortable and reliant on that drug, that paycheck, that sustainability, that certainty that you know that you're gonna have at the end of every 2 weeks or the end of every week. Some people it's the end of every week, most people it's the end of every 2 weeks. But I wanted to feel uncomfortable to force myself to grow. I know growth only happens when you're uncomfortable, and I know that if you are stagnant, scratch that, you're never stagnant. You're either growing or you're dying. And when I was working my 9 to 5 in America, I felt like I was dying. I felt like all the progress that I had made for myself was slowly becoming unraveled, slowly just I felt like progress was just being undone. Working this 9 to 5, I felt like I was working for someone else's dream, and I dreaded it. I hated it. When I think about it still to this day, it's like a nightmare. Some like people's desired reality of working, getting a stable job, and living a normal life, that is a complete nightmare for me. That is a nightmare. It scares me to this day to think about that reality when I'm not even in it anymore. I'm not even in that reality, and it's like a fire under my ass. It's so scary to me to just be complacent and get stuck in that reality of just working every day on someone else's dream, working, paying bills, working, living for the weekend, working. Don't get me wrong, okay? I love work. I love to work hard on myself, but I do not like to work hard on someone else's dream, or I do not like to work hard and my efforts are not getting acknowledged properly, or I'm not receiving reward for my efforts that are being put out. I love to work, but not at the expense of my own sanity. Reason number 3, I decided to move across the world is because I felt like I had to face my fear head on of getting out of my comfort zone. And what I mean by this is a lot of people are controlled by fear. They let fear dictate their lives. I decided to go straight towards the fear and take a leap and just take a bet on myself. I know a lot of people won't be able to do this type of thing, or can't even bring themselves to do this type of thing. They don't have the courage to. But for me, I realized that I only live once. I could die today or tomorrow. If I die today or tomorrow, I want to be able to be up in wherever I go, heaven or wherever afterlife I go to. I want to be able to say, okay, I lived my life to the fullest. I didn't let fear control my life. I had faith in myself, and I had faith in that things would work out. I took a leap of faith. I trusted myself. I did things that I wanted to do. This is why I decided to come across the world, because a lot of people will sit up here and judge others for doing things that they themselves could never ever do. On one of my previous videos, I talked about in my car that I owned in America, I talked about why I wanted to come to Thailand. I had so many negative, hateful comments to the point where it's laughable. It's laughable because the people commenting all those negative things would never, ever, ever in this life or the next be able to bring themselves to move across the world. And it shows through their projection of insecurity and hate in my comment section. It's very, very laughable that people will hate on someone for doing something that they want to do but can't bring themselves to do. So that's just another reason why I decided to come here. I'm going to get into the next few reasons why I decided to come here. These are reasons why, these reasons are more so pointed towards Thailand itself as a country. So the cost of living here is so much more affordable than the US. That goes into working a 9 to 5 back in reason number 1. So cost of living here is affordable, right? If you have USD. However, cost of living in America is like, it's meant to keep you like in this circle. It doesn't even make any sense. I try to logically comprehend how wages and inflation are just like tearing people apart in the US. And it like, I try to comprehend it, but I just cannot comprehend it. It doesn't make sense. The only explanation for wages and inflation in the US is that it's intentional. It's meant to keep you in this loop, in this cycle of insanity. But in America, that's the thing. People do the exact same thing over and over again. They work their jobs, and I guess some people are literally trapped working their jobs, but they don't realize if they continue to work their dead-end jobs, nothing will change. Nothing will change in their lives. Here in Thailand, it's so much more affordable to fucking live, to just not even live, to thrive. America taught me how to survive, but Thailand is teaching me how to thrive. I pay $2 for a meal here. I don't spend more than $5 a day on food. $5 to $6 a day on food. I eat about 3 times a day. I don't spend more than $5 to $6 a day on food. Literally, one meal is like $1.90 or $2. That is amazing. Back in America, I was spending well over like $50 a day. $50 a day, food, gas, and other things, like just random expenses that just chip away at whatever money that you're making or whatever money that you have saved. It's just stressful to deal with. Number 2, the food here is really good. That goes into cost of living. The food here is healthy, it's good. The food here, it feels like it's made not to keep you fat and unhealthy. Like America, I remember seeing a statistic a few years ago. America was one of the most obese countries in the world. If not, I think America is the most obese country in the world. Fact check me on that in the comments. I think it's America that's number 1 and Mexico is number 2, but it makes sense why America is so obese and has the most obese people. It's because the food there it's unhealthy and it's literally made to kill you. To put it bluntly, the food there is literally made to kill you. It's not made to keep you in shape. It's made to make you lethargic, unhealthy, have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. It's literally just made to keep you fucking like in this low vibrational state. That's literally America. But people would never realize this if they didn't go do the research for themselves of seeing why the food's unhealthy, or go do the research themselves on what they should be eating and what diet they should follow and what workout split they should be having or taking. It's kind of funny in a way, because it seems like everything in America, right? I won't say everything, there's some pros to America, but it seems like most things in America are made to keep you in this low vibrational state. It's made to keep you down. It's not made to elevate you and push you to excel. That's just personally what I see from my generation. Others from other generations may see something else, but being from a different generation is kind of being from it's like being from a different world, to be honest, in my opinion. So we can't really compare our generations. Third reason why I decided to move here to Thailand, I'm not really a fan of the heat, but the weather is constant and I don't mind having like a hot season year round. I mean, it was pretty much the same in California. It's pretty much like hot for the most part. Cool, I would say, like moderate in California, but here it's hot. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it. So, I mean, the weather is constant. I can just go outside and put on a literal tank top and just call it a day. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to put on designer. I'm not trying to get all dripped up. I'm literally putting on some most comfortable clothes for me for the climate. That's literally it. And that goes into my next reason why I decided to move here. I'm sure there are materialistic people in every country. However, it feels like this place is it's less materialistic. People here aren't worried about what car you drive, how much money you make a year, what house you have, how many properties you have. They're not worried about this brand name. They're not worried about that brand name. I'm sure there are people like that here, but in America, it's much more rampant, especially in California. It's like the only thing that fucking matters is how much money you make, what car you drive, how many properties you have, what your social status is. That seems like that's the only thing that matters in America. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I could not care less. This is coming from someone who, I was living in Orange County, California I lived there from 18 to 22 years old. I lived there for 4 years, supported myself, had a pretty nice car, had a BMW. got myself together, had some nice things, lived in pretty nice places to say the least, and I realized all of that materialistic shit that I had, whether it be my BMW, my clothes, the things that I owned, none of that shit fucking mattered, bruh, because it didn't make me happy. My car, it made me happy initially, but then after owning it for many, many years and realizing what it took to maintain having this status symbol of a car, I realized that I don't care. This doesn't mean anything to me. Having this brand name car, having a BMW at 20 years old, 19 years old, doesn't mean anything. It literally means nothing to me. I couldn't care less about materialistic things. What matters most to me is freedom. I don't care about impressing other people. I don't even like people like that. I'm such an introvert. So why would I want to impress people that I don't even like? You know? And it feels like that's what American culture and society is built upon, impressing other people. Okay, you impress someone, what does it do for you? What benefit, what advantage does it give to you in the real world? Sure, if you have a nice car, you're able to network with people. I mean, yeah, but me personally, I just don't care about that materialistic aspect of life in America. It's so superficial, and I value freedom and just time, being able to do what I want over materialistic possessions. Next reason why I decided to move here to Thailand, I'd say, is I do like the culture here. It's much more collectivistic. In America, it's individualistic. It's all about me, me, me. I would say the women here are a bit more pleasant than American women. Now, this is probably going to be controversial. I didn't come here for the women, but the women here are an added bonus. They are a bit more, I'd say, feminine than American. Not a bit more. They're a lot more feminine than American women. American women, to say the least, some of them, not all of them. I'm not generalizing all of American women because I'm aware that some American women are sweethearts. They're amazing women. They're amazing people, amazing mothers. I'm sure there are women that like that out there in America, but for the most part, seems like a lot of American women are just generally insufferable to be around and insufferable to date. And this is coming from someone who's lived in California. The women out there, man, I don't even need to say anything else. If you live in California, you know what I'm talking about. But I'd say last but not least, the last reason why I decided to move here to Thailand is just to honestly chase my dreams. I want to be able to say that I at least tried. Worst comes to worst, I want to be able to say I at least tried to do something out of the norm. I don't want to follow the normal thing to do. I don't want to just follow society's norm. I mean, I've never had a normal life to begin with, so following societal norms never has been an issue for me. I've always been someone to think outside the box, someone to try new things, someone to do things my way. I will create and build a life out here that I am proud of. And I'm in the process of doing that, and I won't stop until I look back and say, wow, it all worked out. So failure in my head is not an option for me, but I want to be able to say that I tried, you know? A lot of people don't try anything, like whether it comes to trying a new business idea, trying day trading, or just going to a different country. A lot of people let fear in. A lot of people just let fear dictate their actions. A lot of people don't even try to do something out of the norm. They don't have free minds. A lot of people are still living inside this matrix of letting society and other people influence their thoughts and their decisions. I'm not going to be that type of person. I will never be that type of person. I will always be someone who thinks for myself and makes my own decisions, whether other people like it or not. I don't give a fuck, because this is my life, and you only get one of these as far as I know. So, but anyways, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos all the way through. Leave a like, comment down below. I just want to thank you guys for commenting on all of my videos, by the way, because Even the negative comments help. Even the haters help. If you're a hater, you're not actually a fan. So thank you to all my haters. Thank you to all my people who subscribe to me. And just leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.